Hello, hello. This is Classic Joey Mac. Yeah, I wanted to do another update, another video, but this time one that I sort of reflected on, and it all started last night. As you can tell, I got my hair cut. Maybe another video will be spent on me shaving my head. This is the second time I've actually done it, and losing hair and all that stuff. But at this point, I feel comfortable enough to just go with it. But anyway, well, I got my hair cut, and I've been getting my hair cut at the same location for the last 9 years. No, 9 or 10 years, actually. Ooh. Now the location is a hair cuttery in well, it's not the hair cuttery. I think that's actually the name of a place. It's a place called Shapes and Styles, but it's a place in the mall that I grew up in, and that is Granite Run Mall. Which is located in Media, Pennsylvania. I don't know if that's the official mailing address, but it is what it is. Now, I grew up there. And now I've since moved about half an hour or so away. Maybe even a little longer than half an hour away. But I still go there. I still go there. I take the trip every month or so and get my hair cut. I've actually gotten my hair cut by the same girl for the last, probably nine plus years. So she probably knows more about my life than most people on the planet. But no, I love Kristen. She's great. There is some sort of relationship you have with the person that cuts your hair. You could just go in every month and a half, and she always knows what's going on. We're friends on Facebook. It's great. But I really didn't want to get into anything of that. But the reason I went in is because of the mall. Granite Run Mall is, like probably most malls, it's big enough, has a couple of anchor stores, Boscov, Sears, and JCPenney. And several stores have sort of come and gone. There used to be an arcade. That left years ago. Used to be a lot of great places. Sbarro Pizza years ago, which I consider the most typical of all mall pizzas, gone. In fact, at this point, most stores are gone in this mall. And actually, I believe at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, it's slated to be torn down. I walked around. I had about 25 minutes to kill before I got my hair cut. I got there a little early. And so I'm like, well, let me just walk around. Now, I normally do that, unless I'm running late. But this time, it really caught me. It really hit me in terms of it was empty. I mean, it was 7:30 on a Thursday night, and I'm not saying that should be the most busiest time of the year for a mall, but I'm talking about the stores. There are almost no stores left in this mall besides the anchor stores. Literally, there were some, I guess, I don't know what you call them, sections of the mall that were no stores. None. This was a place that had a store in every, whatever section, every spot that you could put a store. From KB Toys to Baines Deli to the arcade to Spencer's to whatever. They're almost all gone. The Wall. Oh my God, I remember the Wall, Sam Goodies, not West Coast Video, but there was Sun Coast Video. Oh God, I'm trying to think. There was another Hot Topic. There was a ton of stores, and they're all gone. Orange Julius, Bavarian Pretzel, just crazy, and they're almost all gone at this point. Now, for someone that's my age, 29, and if you grew up near a mall such as this one, you probably spent a lot of your childhood there, a ton of it. I mean, what else do you do when you're like 14, 12, 13 years old? I mean, you go to the mall, you hang there with some buddies. You maybe have 15, 20 bucks and you can pick up a CD or pick up whatever. There's a comic book store there. There's a movie theater there. There used to be like restaurants. There used to be there's still some. There used to be like a Chinese restaurant in the back. I think it's still there. There used to be a Chi-Chi's there. There used to be a lot of craziness. Ruby Tuesdays, American Grill. Used to be a Burger King. Used to be a McDonald's. Used to be a lot of different things. Used to be a Roy Rogers down there. That's all pretty much gone. But that's where I spent so much time. You know, you just half the time you're just like, I don't know, it's free. There's something for me to do. You might see a bunch of people there. And when I fast forward into today's world of 2014, I'm just like, God, you know, there's nothing here. And I think I've mentioned this before, that years ago I called that was going to happen. I thought really once the internet not came out, but once like eBay and Amazon started getting as dominant as they were, there's really no point to go to these stores anymore. Some of the superstores, yes, and you see them, you know. For example, and I don't even know why this came in my head, like if you're an outdoorsman, a place like Cabela's is a big deal. You know, those are the type of stores that I think will still ultimately succeed. But a mall, which you think would succeed, there's really no reason for it. With the internet, you really just don't need it. Unless you are big on trying clothes on, you really don't need to go to a store anymore. It's just a fact. I buy my wife clothes all the time, from like Victoria's Secret or Lulu's or whatever, Guess. Trying to think of some of the other ones, Venus. You know, 9 times out of 10 they always fit, and if they don't fit, you just simply take them back. I bought a bathing suit once for my sister-in-law, and the bottoms were too small, and all we did was just exchange them for something bigger on Victoria's Secret. I mean, it's as easy as it gets. I mean, it's almost as convenient as just going to a store. I mean, you just don't get the instant gratification. That's all. But malls are rapidly deteriorating. Some malls have actually turned into other things, or they're half a mall, half something else. This mall, though, is going down. It's a shame, and it really made me sad. I was talking to the girl that cuts my hair about it. I was like, I can't believe this mall's just, you know, a ghost town. When years ago it used to be, you know, full of kids, full of people. You know, the Boscov's there is like legendary in the area. I mean, everyone still goes to that. If there's one store that people go to, it's still that Boscov's, because it's just it's pretty old school. It's got everything you want, good prices. It just made me sad. It really made me think, like, God, kids today, they don't go to the mall. I don't know what they do. And that makes me sound old. I mean, I guess I could take some guesses, but again, this is sort of another play on these generational differences, and just how hanging at the mall is just not cool anymore. It's not what kids do. You know, it is what it is. That mall will always hold a lot of memories for me. In fact, last year, just because I knew it was going to go down within a year or so, me and my wife took our daughter there and got her picture taken with Santa. Just so her first picture can always be at Granite Run Mall. I always had visions of taking, you know, a future son or daughter to this mall and just, you know, hanging out. And, you know, I remember going shopping with like my mom or my dad there, or my grandmom or whatever, and, you know, getting a Slurpee from Bavarian, or getting a sandwich at Baines, or, you know, shopping around looking for school clothes every year. Oh, I mean, any kid that knows, or any guy that knows me or girl that knows me, you know, probably did the same thing. We all grew up in the same area. Even if you didn't, you know what I'm talking about. You know what it's like to have that mall that has everything there. You know, there was a Friendly's right nearby. There's a, you know, movie theater that we all used to go to. I mean, that's just the place that we used to go, and it's going away. It's going to be torn down. There's going to be, I think, apartments and houses or something, townhouses. There's a Goodwill, or not Goodwill, a Goodyear there. There's an Acme that's been there forever. It's just there. It used to be a Clover. Oh God, Clover used to have the best pretzels, and now it's a Kohl's. But you know, that was a strong part of my childhood. This mall, and it's going. It's going to be gone. And I guess this is what it's like to grow up in any generation. I hear my dad always talk about, the corner stores down in where he grew up, or the corner deli, or the corner bar, or this. They don't really have that stuff as much anymore. For me, it was going to the mall, going to the park, going to this. And even that stuff's now rapidly going away. And it's just, that's change. I mean, that's just, I'm not even condemning it. I'm sad because of the nostalgia, but I'm not sitting here saying, no, malls are more efficient, let's keep them. No, not at all. I do as much online shopping as does anyone else. I go to the mall to get my hair cut. I go around Christmas just because of, again, nostalgia. And every once in a while I go to that Boscov's or maybe one or other stores that are actually still open there because I just know it's going to have what I want. There's a Radio Shack in there, for example, that I'll sometimes frequent. No, I by no means would make any sort of case to keep them open. I'm just saying, like, it's a reflection of my childhood in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. Just crazy, crazy that that's going away. But that's life. That's just the way it is. But I'd be curious to hear what others can remember. Reflect a little bit about your past, especially if you're my age, or whether you're younger or older. What going to the mall meant to you. I mean, to me, it was almost an every Friday and Saturday night occurrence. I mean, whether you go to the movies, you hang out at the mall before, you go out to Chick-fil-A or Sbarro or whatever, you grab a pretzel. Those were the days, man. Getting a banana Julius at Orange Julius, I still miss those. You can barely find them anymore. That mall culture was so big when I was growing up. So big. I mean, you'd go to the movies and see whatever, Toy Story or something, and then you'd go to Sbarro and grab a pizza afterwards. And those were the days. I don't know. Just, you'd be off in summer and you'd go out with friends to the mall, or, I'd go shopping with my mom. Like I said, those days of going to the mall with my mom and brother to go school shopping for clothes or whatever, like, oh God, I still remember that. And it's funny, like, you look back on it now. I mean, hell, I still do the same thing with Fiona, my daughter. We actually bought her christening outfit, her baptism outfit at a Boscov's, I believe. And just the old school way. I mean, everyone used to be like, oh, just go to Boscov's or just go to Sears. I mean, I also want to bring out in Sears, in the middle of, this is years ago, in the middle of all the clothing sections, there used to be this small section for video games. It was like in the middle of clothes. Like, it was insane. It was like you'd go through all these clothes and then, bam, there's this little square counter, like a square thing with a girl that was behind it, or a guy, and maybe a couple of racks with Nintendo or Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis games or Game Boy. They got rid of that years ago. I mean, at least 12, 13, 14 years ago. At least. If not in the 90s sometime. But I still remember that. I still remember looking at, like, Dr. Mario games and stuff like that. Just buying a game is such a big deal. Now you have GameStops or whatever. But back then, I mean, like, there was just this little tiny section in Sears in the middle of, like, boys and girls' clothes. And I still just remember pressing my face against the glass, just like looking at every game. It just, you just won't have that anymore. And I know maybe, a younger person, or maybe even an older person is looking back on this video and being like, how trivial are these memories? But I guess they're my memories. I guess there are a lot of just what it was like growing up and how significant that mall was to me. And just that mall atmosphere and culture where it's like, hey, let's go to the mall. What do you want to do? I don't know. Let's go hang at the mall. You just walk around, do whatever. You look around at things, buy things, whatever. So, interesting to say the least. So I will miss Granite Run Mall. I think it's going to be open for probably another 6 months or so. I should take a few pictures. I was going to do it 2 months ago. I was there and I was going to take a picture of, like, the back of the mall. And there was, like, old signs for, like, I think it was the Sears or Boscov's, like, garden center. And they really don't have that stuff much anymore. But I didn't get a chance to. I went on my own way. But anyway, like I said, hit me up on Twitter or Tumblr or any other way, and let me know what was it like growing up. Going to malls and stuff. Is your mall still open? Is it not open? Has it closed? And what do you feel about that? Let's share some stories and memories. I think that'd be pretty cool. So, anyway, I hope you liked it. Hit me up and talk to you guys later. Keep it classic.